Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Robert Canter. When I was growing up, two of my favorite things were Batman and Yugioh. But what would happen if these two worlds collided? Today, I'll be giving my personal opinions on what kind of cards I think Batman would use. Offhand, I can't think of any legitimate reason why Batman would need to play a trading card game, but I'm sure DC Comics and Konami could think of something if they wanted to sell some comics and cards. Believe it or not, I think Batman's deck would incorporate dark attribute warrior or fiend type monsters and would combine elements from Gong Strong, PaniK, and Declan. Now, I imagine a lot of you are wondering, why Gong Strong of all people? Well, Gong's super heavy samurai deck does not have any spells or traps in it. Magic has never been Batman's MO, so I imagine there wouldn't be any spell cards in his deck. He would make up the difference with powerful monster and trap effects. Much the same way Gong's deck works, I imagine the monsters in Batman's deck wouldn't be able to use their effects if there are any spells in his graveyard. This would also put Batman in the unique position to abuse the continuous trap card Curse of Darkness, which inflicts 1,000 points of damage every time a player activates a spell card. If Batman can't or won't use spell cards, it's likely he wouldn't allow his opponent to use them, or at least make them pay to use them. PaniK, or Player Killer of Darkness as he was known in the manga, was one of the duelists hired by Pegasus to eliminate weaker duelists from Duelist Kingdom. Now, Yugi described him as being a coward and a bully, and the whole duel is a fine example of how Duelist Kingdom was very unorthodox. But Batman and PaniK do have one thing in common. Batman's greatest weapon is fear. Obviously, in a master duel, he wouldn't be able to cloak his monsters the same way that PaniK did, but there would be a certain degree of psychological warfare. If Batman plays a face-down monster card, or sets a trap, you will hesitate to attack or destroy it. Don't forget, some cards have effects that activate specifically when they're destroyed. So why is Batman like Declan? Well, I believe the answer to that is obvious. Batman's deck would swarm the field with low-level monsters that he can use to summon powerful monsters from his extra deck. While some archetypes almost exclusively revolve around a certain summoning method, usually whatever new game mechanic the creators are trying to market, I don't imagine Batman's deck would be limited to a single summoning method. Jade and Yugi's deck could easily be crippled with the continuous trap card Non-Fusion Area. In Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, the Mech Lords were introduced as Synchro Killers, and in Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal, Kite's Galaxy Ice Photon Dragon was an XZ killer. But Batman isn't the kind of person to put all his eggs in one basket. Batman is a certified genius that has developed contingency plans and weapons to take down the other members of the Justice League in case they ever go rogue. After studying the Yu-Gi-Oh! Game, he would realize that while you can't prepare for every conceivable eventuality, most decks almost universally incorporate monster effects, and he'd probably find a way to take that out of the equation. The trap card's skill drain negates all monster effects, but it works both ways. I imagine one of Batman's unique monster or trap effects would negate his opponent's monster effects without obstructing his own. Since there are no spell cards in this deck, it's going to be pretty hard for Batman to draw cards from his deck outside his draw phase, so he'll need some monster or trap effects to make up for this. Batman's monster and trap effects would need to be flexible and adaptable, because after studying the metagame, he would realize that very often the fine print matters. For example, Belzy of the Diabolic Dragons cannot be destroyed in battle or by card effects, but Batman would realize that he could still return it to the extra deck or banish it. And now the moment you've all been waiting for. Let's take a look at the cards themselves. That's all I've got to say. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, favorite, subscribe, and if you really want to help this channel out, click the links in the description below and buy my books. The Shadow Angel Genesis is a story about a vampire that has spent the past 500 years as the Vatican's personal monster hunter. Hashtag real vampires don't sparkle. The South Bend Dark Frog Murders is a bold and bloody murder mystery that offers a very compelling look at the degradation of morality and social structure in America and the world, all wrapped up in nail-biting entertainment. And the true story of Mrs. Claus is a very creative but wholesome reimagining of a character that is well known but often overlooked. Each one is available on the Barnes & Noble, Amazon, and Outskirts Press websites, so click the links in the description below and get yours today.